do. Having lots of fun. The rabbit is number one. Show and twist God's love, and with God's love he can do it all. If you don't mind, hit that follow button and subscribe. The stream is starting soon. Come watch the rabbit, let's watch the rabbit, bringing entertainment to me and you. Come watch the rabbit, let's watch the rabbit. It's not hard to do. Get ready because the stream is starting now.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another JRabbit87 stream. I am your host, JRabbit87, and I know some of y'all are like, wait, what are you doing? It's not stream day. It is today. So I feel kind of bad because I have missed out. I missed out on Saturday, and I was supposed to stream. I missed out on Sunday, or I missed out on, wait, hold up. Yeah, I missed out on both Saturday and Sunday. Um, so as a way to kind of make everything up to y'all, I am doing a stream today. And since we were supposed to start Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe on Saturday, we are going to go ahead and start it today, and then I don't know when we'll play it again, because this coming Saturday will also not be a stream because of wrestling again. So we'll figure all that out, but still, this is a way to kind of try to make up for lost time. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get into our commands so that way we can get into the game. So as always, we are sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He has blessed both me and my wife extremely greatly, and we want to make sure that we return his blessings by giving him all the honor, glory, credit, and praise that he rightfully deserves. We also want to say a huge thank you. Thank you to everybody that joins me today. It means so much to me that you guys take time out of your busy days to come and hang out with me. Of course, a huge thank you also goes to our supporters, who I will name individually at the end of stream. If you haven't already, make sure to grab that link that I just posted and join the Mary Kay purchasing thing by purchasing things with Mary Kay. I don't know. I need to come up with something that's a lot catchier. I don't know. It'll come to me. Anyways, if you do have any questions about any of the products, she is a Mary Kay consultant, and she'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Discord. We have one of those. If you have not joined our Discord and you would like to, feel free to grab that link that my #WonderfulWife just posted and come join us. We've got all the chat rooms that you could possibly want. We've got wrestling results. We've got important discussions, important announcements, all that wonderful stuff. YouTube. We also have one of those. If you have not gone over there and you'd like to check out some of our past live streams or highlight videos, feel free to grab that link and join us over on YouTube. Since it's all free and a way to help support me, I do ask that you give the channel a subscribe, give that bell icon notification a click, and of course, like and comment. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't deleted TikTok yet and you want to join us for just our highlight videos, then you can find us there at JRabbit87 or by using that link. And yeah, feel free to come over there and join us and follow and like and comment there as well. Last but not least are ways that you can help support the stream at this moment if you would like to. Keep in mind that nothing is ever required, but everything is very much appreciated. With that, more information on how you can support the chat is in the stream. What? What did I? Oh. Yep, more ways to help the chat is in the stream. Sorry. My bad. More ways to help the stream is in the chat. Thank you, baby. Alright, with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into things. If you've never seen the Stanley Parable, or if you've never played the Stanley Parable, this game is interesting. It's a lot of weird humor, and it's all about making choices. So, I have it loaded up to where we need to get the subtitles going. So we are going to go ahead and start there. And I'm going to go ahead. So I have played the Stanley Parable before. But since this is a new time for all of you guys, I'm going to hit no. Hey, welcome in, Bruto. So we're going to go ahead and keep that like it is. I shall go shower now. Okay. Enjoy your shower.
Thank you.
Them greets. Fair. It is 7:06. All right. We are here. You're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So I hope you guys are ready. Again, if you've never seen this played, I think you guys are in for a treat. Let's begin the game. The end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And this is where we start over. Now I can't jump, but I can crouch. That's not the time I set it for, but okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
And that's the kind of humor this game has. Just as a you know. I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, chat. This is our first choice. This game is all about choices. So, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And then trust me, there is a ton of choices. Do you want, for now, for this first choice, do you want to follow the narrator and go through the left door? Or do you want to go through the right door? Left or right? And I'm going to ask you this each time, unless you really just want me to do one full playthrough of doing everything through the way the narrator says, and then going against him, and then mix things up from there. Due to traffic being loud, I won't be able to help with choices for a bit, sadly. Fair. Oh. Well. I'm trying to think. I guess that's what I'll do then. I will do one where I just go through everything that he says, and then I'll do a second playthrough, because this is going to be several You can even say that it says begin the game again. There are several endings and several different things. So I'll do one where I follow him, and then one where I do everything against him. And then from there we can have fun and randomly do different paths and all that. So, okay, left door.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball inside of you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Oh. Using slides to assure employees everything is okay. Yeah, I love what do people want? Things. Happy feelings, Violent James, you're fired. Money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs, graphs about things and money. We have our new product. I love just this kind of dry humor is like right. Do not alter with a consulting manager. Targets push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Standardized graphs, not cost efficient. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Hire someone to synchronize papers. Papers are too synergized. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergized guy. I thought everyone wanted this one thing Al Snow told about. Alright, let's move on. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Executive bathroom. Of course, you can't see yourself. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Also, if you haven't noticed, every time I hit the action button, it sounds like somebody typing on a keyboard. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay, what was it?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Loading, loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Or, you know, we could go down the thing that says escape, but we're seeing where he leads us.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah! Well, that's not what I wanted to do.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
I didn't mean to do
We call
this.
this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Well, that was not what I had planned. Okay. So, yeah. Basically, when you reach an ending or something like that, you get teleported back to the office and you get to start all over again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's try this again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping, oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wonder if the poem changed. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money crisp. Insert Mr. Krabs here. Money, 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 money.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly,
Reminds me of Seth Rollins in our shows because all we had him say was money, money, money since it was, at the time he was Mr. Money in the Bank. Fair. So I discovered an ending I didn't even know about and didn't mean to do.
Excellent. A late reply to the money comment. Money, 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 money.
Yeah, I remember that. He'd always just say money.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright, let's try this again. Without.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles
Safe
still
travels.
lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And beat the game. But the end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. With that,
I'm going to bed.
Yep.
Nick.
he's be right back. So I was going to try to find a video to have in the background real quick or something. I know, but there's no music going on right now. That's that's the bad thing about this game is there's not really a lot of music and stuff. So
Have you done the window thing yet?
no.
Why don't you do the window thing? At the very least, there will be music.
Fair.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have
Okay.
happened if you had
I'm
told
going to
me
go
that you
do a
wanted
quick
this to
intermission.
stop?
Y'all
Do you think it would
enjoy
have been particularly
this.
different?
I'll be
Would I
back
have
in a little
taken
bit.
the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
My bad. I thought that there was more to it than this. I. We are back though. So that was kind of a glitch ending. Alright, this time we're going to do everything that he said.
All of his
Yeah.
co-workers were gone. What could it
We're
be?
going to go the opposite
Stanley
direction now.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Caution, do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop! Warning, do not jump from cargo lift while it is in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No. No buckets past this point.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ah.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Good old Neil, Skid, Nacho, Nico, Nacho, Vola. We.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
And yeah, I'm done.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
So in the original version of this game, this first game was Minecraft, but I think they couldn't use it for some reason, so they had to switch it to this game, which is another game done by this developer.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
It's Rocket League.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
It's Rocket League.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Boing. Boing.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is
Boing.
it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Ah. That's a lot of balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
Yes.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around.
Ew,
to
I'm
set
a candy.
the rules. Somehow,
Ooh, a piece of
I don't
candy.
think you'll enjoy
Ooh,
it as
piece of
much.
candy.
But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Okay. I greet you. Geronimo.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
It's so dark everywhere. So dark. Ah. Huh?
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Hey, welcome in, T.
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
so we've disobeyed him from every step of the way. And now we're just kind of in this like low textured office. Sorry, mister. It's all good. Hey, look, it's us, 427. This is our office. And this weird version. And with that,
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
okay. So we have basically successfully done both of the like the completely following him and the completely ignoring him route. And as you saw, if you were here, each route had multiple ways that you could start following him again and vice versa. So now that I have people in the chat, we're going to let you guys make the decisions.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, wait, this is different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That was a little different. Okay, so the door on the left or the door on the right? That is their first question. Right? I was going to say left. Oh no! Well, let's... Wheel! Of rabbit. Left it is. Ooh.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The broom closet is.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Up or down? We went up last time, or we went up, so, yeah, up or down? Oh, I love it. Oh, wait, you changed it to up. Okay, I guess we're going up because you changed it. I see that. You first said down and then up and up. Okay, we're going up. Let's see if the poem has changed in the bathroom. Nope. Happy wife, happy life.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh, the humor of this game.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright, do we go to the facility or do we go to the escape? 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 Alright.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Cake is a lie. Maybe we should turn around. Oops, too late. We're stuck.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
We.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
So this is basically a credit ending, if you want to call it that. There's our computer, office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. Though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. So it's like that. We have literally gotten to the end of like some backstage secrets and stuff. Is literally all this is credits. Um, and then like maintenance room. Huh. The only real bad thing about this is, I mean, there are some spoilers here. Um, so and just each of these little plaques has like little information. Do you always die if you don't listen? No. Um, there are several different. So the point, one of the things about this game is there are several different endings. Yes, there are some where you don't die, or where you do die, some where you don't die. And I don't remember every single last one either. Um, but there are ways to do it without dying. Right now I need to just remember how to get back out of here. Oh, exit. So there's the exit right there. And like I don't want to do too much because I don't want to spoil anything. So we'll go ahead and get to the next thing.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
Okay. And restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm trying to remember one that I had done with Amanda not too long ago. See if I can remember.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
This is one of my favorite ones.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, you both said right. I'm sorry.
Now, let's see, we went down
You
right,
want me to go
left,
to the right door.
down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
And I did. So.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This is one of my favorite endings, and that's some of my favorite stuff.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
You did, though. Fair.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Adventure! That's where we came
I'll
from.
say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
We
I
need
don't
Cody
care what
Rhodes
might
to help
happen
us
this
finish
time.
the story.
I have to restart.
Yeah, we do need Cody Rhodes to help us.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Let's follow the line. Okay.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Da 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 da.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you
I was
study it
enjoying
closely
that.
and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I was enjoying that, narrator. Okay, yeah. It's a fern. Okay. Can we get the music back?
Wait,
Wait.
what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is
Hashtag
any of this
plans
ringing a
few.
bell?
Hashtag plans few.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you...
FCW,
I
I
can't
mean.
take this anymore, to hell
For
with
the
it.
win.
Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, This is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there
That's
must be
making
a
me dizzy.
reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
And we're back. So yeah, I was hoping I could find that ending again because I really like that whole little ba 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 ba.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now
No
we're
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
fair. Now we're gonna do this again.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Double
So,
fair.
now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes. Because we hit no last time during intermission.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Alright. That was fun. Now, I don't remember every single last ending, but I know a few.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Trying to remember. I'm also trying to think of ones where you don't have to unalive yourself, because there are a couple that do that. Left? Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Monetize free to play. Let's don't do that. I want to go back in the clean menu.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This time we're going to go down. I can't read what that says.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh, yeah.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, And it too appeared. It was
Ooh.
so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
I am okay.
Insert the My Chemical Romance song, I'm Not Okay here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting
This
to
took a
think
turn.
this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Now I'm going to go for this time, instead of asking you guys to pick for me, I'm going to go because I remember another ending. And I'm going to go ahead and go do that ending.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Yeah. Fair. Oh yeah, there's the new content for Ultra Deluxe, so...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I need to do this.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Listen, okay.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
So at this point, you can literally stay here as long as you want, and it will circle between different animations that are very, very pretty. I will admit, it is very, very pretty. I like that. And there's nothing that really stops you from just staying here. Other than, we do need to go on with the game.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
So this is an ending that I don't particularly like.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
I do love how pretty all of this is, but to move forward, we actually have to do that.
What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Aw, dang. Yeah.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
And what's worse is...
No! Oh, thank God.
we
You
have
lived.
to do it multiple
You have me worried
times.
there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
You have to do it multiple times.
No. No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Sure, man. I don't think it'll do anything if I do.
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Why is this a path, I wonder? It's the cleverness, I guess.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Poor narrator, I know, right? That's another reason I kind of want to get this ending done and over with, because I don't. This is not my This is not an ending I like particularly like.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
And here we are, back at the beginning. I don't even
All of his
remember.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't even remember every single ending. I do know that sometimes, like, there's the ending involving all these computer inputs, but I would have to, look that up. And I don't want to do new content until later.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm trying to think what other things that there are. Oh yeah, I know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
I think
lounge
we have
first, just to admire it.
time for at least one more.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
This
Look,
time,
Stanley, I think
we're
we've
not
actually
jumping off.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Nah.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
You can't jump.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press square on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press square.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press down.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press triangle to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press square to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press circle to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press circle to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press triangle to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press triangle to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press X to be at work in the morning. Well, the narrator told me not to press. Okay, X.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press triangle to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that ending is you can access that ending before you do either ending that has the baby that we saw earlier or the line that we also saw earlier. We're not done. There's still a couple more endings. I think we can do at least one more.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting
This
room,
time,
and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
we're going
Perhaps
to
he wanted to
unplug
stop
the
by
phone.
the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think
So-
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
This time we're going to
I'm not
unplug
sure
the phone.
Really, I'm not. I realize
See,
that investing in your
see what
trust in
that is all
someone
about.
else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
I forgot I could pause it. Also, that him talking about how he's always just pushing buttons and this is all a fantasy, it also makes you think because every time I hit an interact button, it sounds like somebody's typing on the keyboard. But yeah, this time we're gonna unplug the phone, see what happens.
All this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
That's just me pressing the X button.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Uh-huh.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Back, sack, and crack? What?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more
what?
than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that you... My story! You've destroyed my work! Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Okay. Night Shark 11 something?
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I
don't know
asked
how.
you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect
I don't know
Stanley
how.
shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk
The
through
end?
the door.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Oh, we got credits this time.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
Hashtag
Choose.
credits.
Do something.
And I see what time it is.
This is more important.
As soon
than
as
you
this
ever
is
know.
over, we'll wrap up.
I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? You listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
What a ride.
Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
Agreed.
You need time to decide.
I liked it.
Time to make sure your choice
And
is
this, and
correct.
it's not. There are still more things. There are still more endings and more stuff. And there's all the new content.
The right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
And there's even more content with the actual with the actual Ultra Deluxe. They added in even more stuff. So we will continue this at some point. I say that because this is supposed to take over on Saturdays, but the next Saturday, this coming up Saturday, I have another wrestling show, so there will not be a stream that day. I will, however, be live tomorrow with the first episode in February of the Rabbit Wrestling Federation. So, look forward to that. It will start at 7 p.m. Central Time, so I hope you guys will join me for that. RWF Hype. RWF Hype indeed. Just to kind of go over everything, that'll be Tuesday. Wednesday, there'll be nothing. Thursday, we will get back to Skyrim. Friday, we will do Minecraft. So that's kind of how the week is planning out. Keep, of course, a hold of Discord, and I will message Nick and T personally if anything changes. With that, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I'm going to go ahead and get into our commands, and then I'll officially say goodnight, and I've got dinner to go eat. So, good night to Nick and T. To the rest of y'all, as always, we are sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He has blessed both me and my wife extremely greatly, and we want to make sure that we return his blessings by giving him all the honor, glory, credit, and praise that he rightfully deserves. Good night, good night. We also want to say good night, good night. We also want to say huge thank you. Thank you to everybody that joined me today. It means so much to me that you guys take time out of your busy days to come and hang out with me. Of course, a huge thank you also goes to our supporters, starting with my hashtag wonderful wife, Firebird10, our amazing friends Nick, T, and Danny, our subscribers Dylan and Jess, the two guys who've bought video games for me to play for you guys, Sean and Steve, and of course the digital artist responsible for our artwork over here, Z Fire Incorporated. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you didn't know, my wife is a Mary Kay consultant. Feel free to grab that link there and browse all the wonderful products that Mary Kay has in store for you. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask her. Discord. We have one of those. If you have not joined our Discord and you would like to, feel free to grab that link that I posted in chat and come join us. We've got tons of chat rooms. That's where important announcements are announced, decisions are decided, wrestling results are resulted, chats are chatted, and we just love to have you there. Another place that we'd love to have you is over on YouTube. If you'd like to catch up on some of our past live streams or highlight videos, or even watch this one when it comes out, or the highlight of this one when it comes out, feel free to grab that link and join us over on YouTube. Since it's all free and it's another way to help support me, I do ask that you give the YouTube channel a subscribe, hit that bell icon notification thingamabob, give the video a like, give it a comment. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. If you just want to view the highlight videos and you still have access to TikTok, you can find us on TikTok at JRabbit87 or following that link. And again, I do ask, give the channel a follow, give the videos a like and a comment. Comments are also good for the YouTube or for the TikTok algorithm. Last but not least are ways that you can help support at this very moment if you would like to do so. Always keep in mind that nothing is ever required, but everything is very much appreciated. With that, more information on how you can help the stream at this moment is in the chat. With that, I hope I will see all of you tomorrow. For tonight, I am JRabbit87, and I hope you all have a very good night.
Thanks so much for joining the Stream of the Rabbit. I hope you had a good time, but now it's time to say good night. Hope to see you all again. Yeah, come back to watch the rabbit. Yeah, let's watch the rabbit, bringing entertainment to me and you. Come watch the rabbit, let's watch the rabbit. It's not hard to do, having lots of fun. The rabbit is number one. Showing Twitch God's love, and with God's love he can do it all. If you don't mind, hit that follow button and subscribe. For now, I hope you all have a good night. Hope to see you all again. Yeah, come back to watch the rabbit. Yeah, let's watch the rabbit, bringing entertainment to me and you. Come watch the rabbit, let's watch the rabbit. It's not hard to do, having lots of fun. The rabbit is number one. Showing Twitch God's love, and with God's love he can do it all. If you don't mind, hit that follow button and subscribe. For now,